Hello everyone, it's Evie here. Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. So, we're going to be talking about things that you shouldn't say to a trans person. And yeah, do enjoy the video, then do leave a like, subscribe, join Blue Sky, Discord, the Fluxer, and yeah, let's get straight into today's video. So, things like that you shouldn't say to a trans person. So, yeah, so let's get straight into it, shall we? So, thing that you shouldn't definitely not say is, oh, you're a man biologically. The reason why you shouldn't say that is because it's more, if you only say, oh, because of like how you were born, based on genitals and, X and Y, yeah, maybe. But if you only go on that alone, you people denying someone's self-worth and their way of identifying themselves and saying, according to me, you are a man, or according to me, you are a woman, or you insert gender here pretty much. And that it really hurts someone, and it makes it kind of hard for anyone in the future to come out to a said person who has said stuff like that, right? So, yeah. Another thing that you're trying to say is, oh, but you have, blank genitals. You have either, but if a dick or if a genitals, so you can't, have, have, so you can't be a woman, you don't have, if you don't have vagina or don't have, can't have babies. And for a lot of women, they may not be able to really carry a baby or can give birth. And, and the same, and for people who are trans men, be like, but you're able to give birth and you have, a vagina, saying that, oh, according to me, you are a woman because of those things. And it does not make sense. And the reason why I'm making today's video is because of the fact that this person, I'm not going to show, has been saying stuff like, and yeah, okay, I said you're a man, yet you keep saying and telling you how you should identify. Okay, and you clearly are. But I don't care. I don't even care anymore. And this person has been calling me a man. And the reason why, I'm gonna make this video, because if you call someone a man all the time who's trans, then you're just being transphobic and ignorant and just toxic and hateful and just discriminating against them. And yeah. And yeah. And another way that you deny someone's gender identity is by saying how they look or talk, saying, oh, but you have such a masculine sounding voice, or you have such, no, a feminine sounding voice. But for a lot of cis men and cis women, they may have a deep voice for, a cis woman, and for a lot of men, they might have a feminine sounding voice. And everyone's body shape and, and size is different. And they feel like it's not really put into the account of that, right? I understand that I understand that people don't really understand the whole trans, thing, or the LGBTQIA plus community might be confused, but there's a better way of doing it, like, oh, so what made you, like, how did you figure out that, you're this or that, and seem like willing to learn and being open-minded, and not just say stuff like, oh, it's simply because of the fact that, that I think you are this, and I'm telling you, like, it is so rude to always, to, like, assume someone's gender based on only on the little bits of biology, but not on someone's full experience of dealing with something like gender dysphoria, stress, and anxiety, or being perceived as the one gender. Because of how someone is when they're trans or non-binary or agender or gender fluid, that the mind and heart and body, the mind and body don't don't like each other, right? And then then we'll call it gender dysphoria, where it's like when you look stuff in the mirror, for a lot of people who are trans or underneath the trans umbrella, it's like the feeling of I don't like what I see, and that and they end up having dysphoria of being like, I wish I could be a woman or a man or non-binary or agender or whatever it may be. And by denying their gender identity that they want to identify as, it's just very transphobic. It's discriminating against them. It's just hurtful and rude. And by seeing how they dress, talk, and walk, and how they present themselves, and saying, "Oh," and not using their also, and not using their preferred, you know, pronouns and name, you're also, misgendering them, and also not being hateful and toxic and being transphobic. But like, if you're someone, let's say that your friend just came out of you as like trans or non-binary or agender, and then they're using a new name, and you misgender them a couple of times by accident, then it's fine. As long as you're willing to learn from your own mistakes, then yeah. And yeah, you know what? I'm gonna keep this here because I do have another thing to talk about. We'll come to you know this person. Like, and by the way, he's been using my profile pic, by the way, to be like, and 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 yeah, like I've been like okay. Another reason I'm making this, because like he got easily triggered by the fact that I am a trans woman, and he keeps saying that I'm a man. That's why I'm making today's video pretty much. But anyways, I need to stop getting distracted. And another way is that by not treating someone with respect if you're trans or underneath the trans umbrella or LGBTQIA plus is by not really using their name and pronouns, or I would say that. And by always kind of like purposely using, asking about like surgery, being, oh, did you get your skin cut off? That is nah, just nah. And also be like, oh, so if you let's say that you have a boyfriend and girlfriend, right, or partner, let's just say that, and then they're like, oh, so does your partner, have sex? And it's like no, it's like no, because that's not something they need to know anything about. That's you and your partner's information, not anything that they have to know, right? And it's quite frustrating that people always assume that's a good question, an appropriate question to ask, and it always puts on you to always solve their ideas and their beliefs onto you, going, but to me, you're a man because how you sound, and biologically you're one. It's like okay, but really, like if you but like if someone is happy identifying and living as the other gender, and then you keep calling them a man or a woman, then and they're living happy as the other gender, and that upsets you, then who's the one easily getting triggered here? Not someone that's trans or only needs to trans umbrella, but the one that is being transphobic towards the person doing nothing wrong at all, and saying stuff like, "Oh, you're all just the same." Like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, we all like think that people like you are kind of like messed up and always trying to push your ideas of how gender should be. Gender is just an advanced thing. That gender is fluid, not just stagnant. Not just man, woman, or woman, man. It's fluid. Like, if you don't really realize, a lot of men dress, differently. A lot of women dress differently, sound differently, wired differently. The style is different, and the way they carry themselves is different. Like, and the fact that people who are transphobic don't really see that is what hurts the trans community and anyone underneath that umbrella more. Like, it just sucks, you know? And yeah, everybody always misgendering someone and not using their preferred name, pronouns, and always telling. Okay, if you use the word I'm telling, if you ever tell a complete stranger, oh, by the way, you're a male or female or man or woman, then someone that you don't even know, you already kind of like look kind of silly by telling someone how they should identify according to you, but not according to the heart and soul and what they know themselves as more. Because how would a stranger know you or me better than we know ourselves better? They don't. And the fact that people think, oh, according to, this and this and this, you're a man or woman. But people like me always get, hated on. And so is the trans mass community also. Then people are non binary, agender, gender fluid. And then people wonder, and parents wonder why it's kind of hard for them, for their child to really come out to them. Because what they said in the past, being like, oh, the LGBTQ plus community is a bunch of devils, and if you're part of it, then going straight to hell. And saying stuff like, if you're part of that community, then that's not what God has planned for you. And it's like that really also ruins potential for your child to come out to you and really have a long-term trust with you and relationship with their parent. We're like able to trust them more and stuff like that. Like, and I feel like down the road, that's gonna cause issues, strains, and stuff like that. And yeah, so yeah, I just want to make this video because again, I was kind of feeling annoyed by this person Xbox telling me that I am quote unquote a man when I'm in fact a woman with this. Like, let's look at that right there. Like, how can you say that I am, a woman, a man when I have this? I don't think it means someone can easily have this as a trans mask or non-binary, agender, gender fluid and stuff like that. But I just really felt like it was really needed for me to make this video because of the fact that, it was needed to make this video. And again, if you're someone that likes to assume and always, self-identify and try to force identify someone's gender identity all the time, then you're not welcomed in this community at all, period. Because this community is for the LGBTQIA plus community and for people that want to feel safe and respected. What? Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bargain over you.
That was just my sister. And yeah. And yeah, like, and yeah. Again, if you're someone that's transphobic and tries to force your ideas on what a gender should be on anyone in this community, you will be banned, that's blocked, and you will not be allowed to join the Blue Sky, Discord, or Fluxer. Because we don't want any of that here. And yeah. If we know more in depth what the person said, then yeah. Because this person straight up was just rude. Like he was just being straight up rude for no reason at all types, and he was like, oh, according to me, you know, you are, a man, according to, how, so, yeah, this all started yesterday when I stayed home from school, by the way, and then I queued into him, and then, like, we got into, like, an argument and stuff like that, and, yeah. So we're gonna talk about, ways to stop, ways that are not good to treat people who are trans. Now this half will be talking about, you know, why you shouldn't, or, why you made this video. And yeah, and yeah. And, then like we kind of went like, we were like come on. So you love, then this is where it went. Okay. He said, you're a grown man staying in my gym to get a life. First of all, I'm not a man, I am a woman. No, you're not. So you love assuming I don't be able to, see this better. But yeah. So first of all, I'm not a man, I am a woman. Yeah, no you're not. So you love assuming people's gender? What are you saying really? No, you're one of those? Stick in my head. Are you me? I don't know why I said it this way. Do you have my brain, my guts, my soul, my heart, and my body? Therefore, you're still a man. So all of my 2 years and 6 months being on estrogen for nothing, according to you, a man? Well, but at least the science backs me up. Huh? I have more experience respecting the LGBTQIA plus community than you do. Okay, you're a dude. Says I don't go around assuming people's gender. My doctors say otherwise. Are you the one that does my blood work, looks at the hormone levels? Didn't think so. That's it. That's it. Right now you're telling me that I'm a man, meaning that you're forcing me to be in a box to fit your idea of what a woman and what a man is. You may want to change it, but really you're a man. Simple as that. Join the party. You're trying to add more into what a female and man is. Not really. Which is really idiotic. So I can see that you are a woman. Honestly, I don't care what the I think I don't know what like IDBTQ not really community does. So again, not the LGBTQI plus community, the IDBTQ. So again, being very transphobic, homophobic. No, because I was born a man. I was born trans. And if he was in more research into that, he would have known that's possible. But again, transphobic and homophobic, and yeah, just because you identify as something doesn't make you that thing. That makes no sense actually. Because when you identify as as a woman, you're a woman. If you identify as a man, you're a man. If you identify as gender fluid, you're gender fluid. If you identify as non-binary, then you're non-binary, and so on and so forth underneath those umbrellas. Man, you're dumb. Well, likely you're a dude in a story. But there's more to biology than just by assuming some gender based on only on a little bit of biology there. Again, this person again is a computer scientist. A computer scientist, by the way. Let me put that clearly in your brain. A computer scientist. I'm not gonna say his age because I don't want to be put out there, but let's say like he's a grown adult. Let's just say that. If you're a woman, you're a woman. It's just my opinion. And your argument is illogical, so I can say you're a woman. Opinion isn't saying any facts. Please never see that again stick in my head. You should get that through your head that you'll never truly be a woman. Okay. So it's saying that people who are trans, according to you, aren't women. But then, you know, people who are born, women can't be men if they identify as a man, right? Makes no sense. Okay, lots of layers of being transphobic. Although doctors are handing you those hormone pills and making a fortune off you, people, it's quite hilarious. I'm not quite outright hate on you for trying to be a woman. I mean, you do you. But at the end of the day, it is your choice. Okay, not fun again somewhere. But then the people or those whose gender identity, their internal sense of being male, female, or another gender does not match the sex they were assigned at birth. Based on physical autonomy, while most people's gender identity aligns with their assigned sex, some individuals innately know from a very young age that their gender is different. Awareness can occur as early as age 2, though some may not fully understand or express it until later in life. But we both know you'll never truly be a woman. So if you're saying all that, he goes back going, but according to me, you'll never be a woman. So repeating himself, what I'm putting on facts. That's not true. But logically, yes it is. Since there is no one way to be a man or a woman. True. That's what I said. Do your research. But luckily, in identifying two completely different things. No matter how much you want to be a woman, you can dress like one, be like one, eat like one, but you can guess what? Identify as a woman, heart and soul. You're a dude. Identify all you want, you're a man. So you're going to see that to a minor? Because, find Jesus and maybe you'll realize it. You do know when people find Jesus, they can still identify as LGBTQIA+, right? Because there's multiple family members who are Christian, who support and openly support their trans kids, who are gay, bi, pansexual, with a sexuality, and with a gender identity openly in their community and in their family. I hope you know that, right? Bye. Then he said bye. I'll say it to anyone who tries to defend themselves who are trying to truly be a woman. Act like one, say about trying to be one? Stick in my head. Transphobic. So you hate women. No, I hate people who try to be a woman, although they're not. So, you're saying, you don't even know me, by the way. Anyone that says this type of stuff who doesn't know you fully, don't listen to them. Your response are idiotic. So you're transphobic, homophobic, sexist, racist, and ableist. Okay, I kind of went too far there, but not gonna lie, it makes sense, there. So, yeah. To my point, kid, you're assuming what I'm saying. No, I'm not sexist. You're just a man. Ableist, not at all. I guess you could say I'm transphobic, but I would go out of my way to bully them. So, how? You saying you won't outright bully them, but then you're bullying me because I'm trans. So you're bullying me, trying to push your agenda of what a woman is onto me for no reason at all. That makes no sense. Transphobia consists of, this is what I talk about actual facts of transphobia. Transphobia consists of negative attitudes, feelings, or action towards transgender or transsexual people or transness in general. Transphobia can include fear, aversion, hatred, violence, or anger towards people who do not conform to social gender roles. Transphobia is a type of prejudice and discrimination similar to racism, sexism, or ableism, and it is closely associated with homophobia. That's not me. How can you say that that's not you when you're the one saying time and time again to a 21 years old autistic trans woman here that she cannot be a woman when you don't even know her at all? When my family knows I'm a trans woman, my family knows, my boyfriend knows. Like, what? I just don't agree with you people at all. Okay. So you can't respect us? Not really. So you would rather hate on people who struggle mentally as in physically, and because of people like you end up losing friends and end up with people ending their life because they feel like they've got nowhere else to go. Are you part of any minorities? What do you mean? Like being any race or religion or cultures or disabilities? If you ask me if I have something wrong with me, no I don't. Although I notice you have a lot wrong with you. What do you mean by minorities like black, Asian, and because that is also, and religion and disabilities are also minorities. So really, like, it's not really using his brain there, by the way. It's not really using his brain. I mean, he didn't really do his research on what the word minorities even mean. Plus, he's lying there. He's not a god who has everything going his way. That's legit impossible. Since we as human beings are all part of some sort of minorities. Just join the party. Why? So that that's easier. Nah. Are you black, Mexican? Are you assuming my race? Asian, German, Irish? Well, to be honest, I'm done with this convo. I think I made my point. I'll see you when I beat you again in ranked. Politically refers to physical and physiological traits determined by genetics and autonomy, while socially refers to roles, behaviors, and expectations set by culture and society. Biological characteristics are inherent and measurable traits determined by genetics, hormones, and autonomy. For example, biological sex is defined by chromosomes, reproductive organs, hormones, and secondary sex characteristics, such as body hair, voice pitch, or breast development in humans. Those traits are relatively consistent across societies and largely independent of cultural influence. Biological differences can influence physical abilities, reproductive abilities, and susceptibility to contain certain health conditions, but they do not rigidly determine. Okay, now I gotta find where we were because my internet decided to turn off. Pa 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 pa. Let's see here. Trying to find it real quick. Let's see here. Red element humans. Okay, these traits are relatively consistent across societies and largely independent of cultural influence. Biological differences can influence physical abilities, reproductive capability, and susceptibility to certain health conditions, but they do not rigidly determine social roles or behaviors. Biological sex and gender identity are two distinct concepts. Biological sex refers to the classification of an individual as male or female based on biological characteristics such as chromosome, reproductive organs, and hormones. It is determined at birth, and it is a label assigned by medical professionals. Gender identity, on the other hand, is a person's internal sense of being a man, a woman, or something outside that binary. It encompasses how a person feels inside and how they express their gender through clothing, behavior, and personal appearance. Gender identity can vary widely and is influenced by cultural norms, society expectations, and personal identification. In summary, biological sex is a label assigned at birth based on physical characteristics, where gender identity is a personal and subjective expression of how one identifies. Both concepts are related by describe different aspects of one's individual identity. This is what I looked up on Google. What's the difference between biological male and female, and identifying as male and female? It was that easy to find the answers. How come you didn't do that? I was right and you were wrong. Like, come on, if you're trying to win an argument, at least do your research first on the subject before assuming things and before talking and saying where you got it from. All you were saying is biological and not saying it's biologically and not anything about identifying and nothing about sense of self. You're never ever going to win an argument about the LGBTQIA plus community or about trans folks when someone has experience of being trans in the first place. So you were just going to look dumb and silly. You can't just go, oh, you're a man or a woman according to me, then that's not how life works. And if they are on HRT, you can't just be saying, oh, you are a man or a woman. Yes, I am biologically a man, but I identify as a woman and live as a woman, because again, biologically identifying is two different things. Only if you did your homework on the subject, but you simply didn't. Plus, I am happier being a woman than a man. You're also saying that people shouldn't be happy being trans or being part of the LGBTQIA plus community. And trying to come out and just stay hiding, also meaning that you also want them to struggle mentally for the rest of their life. Doesn't you also didn't think about that part? Happiness upsets you, especially when someone is out and proud to be LGBTQI plus. Then says, then then I said this and all somewhere. Is it true that that I'll always be likely a man? No, because being a man or a woman does not depend on your biology. Society act like it does, but gender syndrome is bullshit. Biological man is useless term. Gender is made up by human interactions. Biology is a lot more of a complicated mess than people give it credit for. Does not care about boxes. It won't invalidate your identity. It is you may it is it is. You may not like some parts of it, may not be able to change stuff, but biology does not work in dramatic categories. Then your age does not inherently dictate anything in your life. It is useless statistic outside some medical constructs. So outside of that, it it should not matter to you or anyone else. Which where we are right now, yes, it makes sense to feel that way. But do not forget that being aka assigned male at birth, AFAB, aka assigned female at birth, does not define anything about your personality by itself. Everything in social contracts that we seem to perceive as differences between men and women is literally just how parents raise their children, divided by the rest of society in general. It was why TERF is an oxymoron. They have to defend societal gender roles and gender ism, and that puts them directly against feminism in the first place. Your man don't care. So he says that after, I do my research, I talk to my friends about this issue, and boom. He goes back going, you're a man, I don't care. You can't say to someone, oh, you're a man, I don't care. You do care that someone's trans. You care enough to always tell them that they're a man or a woman all the time. And try to be like, oh, you're a man or a woman according to me because I don't like you guys. I disagree with the LGBTQI plus community. And I hate you all because of the fact that you're different and that I don't get you. It confuses my brain. I did the research again. Yes, many people, I said, can you be born transgender? Yes, transgender people and researchers believe you are born transgender. Scientific studies suggest that gender identity is rooted in the brain structure and development, often established in the womb, which may not align with the sex assigned at birth. This indicates a biological component, though not necessarily a single cause. You can't say don't care, but then care enough to assume someone's gender. Okay, I said it right there. Is then you already put that, then then yeah, like I was pretty much like going, yeah, but already put that. Yeah, you're a man. How are you going to ignore the science of gender identity? Do you even know how biology even works? And why should I fit into the society gender boxes? Is it that important to you that I stay as a man, even though I am happy being a woman? meaning that my mental health is doing better than identifying as a man. Oh, do you what you want? I'm just telling you you're a man. So saying I can do what I want, but then you're gonna continue telling me something that I'm not. So the incorrect answer of my life. Okay. Clearly this is more important to you than I. So you're telling someone on how to live their own life. You know, you had texted your friends asking about all this and searching up questions, blah 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 blah. I was ignoring you, doing my own thing, and you kept on texting me. Yet you think I care. You care. Because why would you care enough? You say, oh yeah, I don't care. But then you care enough to always tell someone how they should identify all the time in your life. If they ever come out to you as trans. Or underneath the trans umbrella. Makes no sense. If you stop texting me, I'll stop texting you. You must be questioning whether I'm right, huh? Because deep down you know I am. Ha 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 ha. No, honestly, no. I know that I am a woman deep down. I knew that I was a woman at a young age, actually. But I didn't know how to really express it. I didn't really have the words or the definition of what I was feeling. Like, oh, I want to do more feminine things. So really, you're saying someone that has the experience of the gender dysphoria, the stress, the anxiety of always trying to present male, but really identifies as a woman deep down. That is you being transphobic and being toxic and hateful. And being hateful. It's discriminative, pretty much. Please seek help and stay out of my messages. I did seek help, and you know what happened? I seeked help to get on HRT and to learn how to do my hair, how to and also asked my mom if I was anything wrong by being a woman and by, talking to my friends who are also trans as well. So really, you're wrong here again. I'll see you in ranked, but okay, what he means by ranked, he means Brawlhalla. Brawlhalla ranked 1v1s. You do know that the brain is also part of biology, right? Is gender and sex the same thing? Well, I've seen used interchangeably. Sex and gender are distinct concepts in science and sociology. Sex refers to biological traits, chromosomes, autonomy. Gender refers to social and cultural roles, behaviors, and identities in a person's adopts. Thus, a person's gender identity may not align with their sex assigned at birth. What is the trans community been everything? Transgender and gender variant people have existed throughout human history, with evidence spanning thousands of years across diverse cultures, historical records, and archaeological findings and archaeological studies. So evidence of transgender, non-binary, and shared gender roles dating back to ancient sites, Metrovia 45,000 to 1900 BC, Egypt, and nearly indigenous societies, confirming they have always been part of a human society. Key historical evidence of transgender existence. Ancient Metrovia 5000 to 3000 BC. The Gallup Greeks who were described as acronyms or trans served the Sumerian goddess Inna and took on feminine names. Ancient Egypt, 1200 BC. Accounts of gender variant people have been identified in early Egyptian history. Ancient Greece and Rome. Like Greece, 200 B, 200 BC, served deities in feminine attire, and Roman Emperor, I will say that name, 3rd century CE, is often cited as trans figure who preferred to be called lady. Also, the fact that you're going off of AI or view tells me how idiotic you are. For one, you can't turn off that. Turn off that. Do some actual research, dude. Go to sleep and quit bothering me, dude. There's on a picture of like the flag out behind me. Yeah, man, if you really don't think so, maybe the solution is to ignore me and to go on about your life. some pictures that said, "We are older than your God, and we shall remain after he does." Like pretty much like, unless deep down you know you're a man, which is clearly showing. You know, being trans is a mental illness, and I should get therapy. You say, "Okay, okay, I did, and my therapist told me to start my transition." You should be happy now, right? Don't remember my Minecraft skin. You said because this image I found. Don't be trash. Transphobic, racist, ableist, sexist, homophobic. We don't hate anyone. I just don't believe in being transgender. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Transphobia is not an opinion. It's discrimination rooted in hate. Trans and gender diverse people have always been here and deserve to live free from harm. Trans people are experts in their own lives. Trans people have always have the right to be safe, equal, and respected. You know, racism is not an opinion, misogyny is not an opinion, casteism is not an opinion, homophobia is not an opinion, transphobia is not an opinion, xenophobia is not an opinion, it's hatred. Transphobia is dangerous, trans people are not. It, it doesn't know misunderstanding of trans people is hate violence. Many people attempt to use this science against trans folk by evoking basic biology, but they fail to realize that biology is not basic. Biology is far more complex than what we are often taught in grade school, because most things are more complicated than what we were taught in grade school. Biological sex is neither basic nor simple. It cannot be defined by one single characteristic. It is not just a penis and a vagina. There are five main components. Why be Why be racist, sexist, homophobic, or transphobic when you could just be quiet? Questioning someone's autonomy is hate violence. I also didn't expect you to look like that. They're using the family picture what it looks like and using that to hate on me. Okay. Denying someone's gender identity is hate violence. You definitely don't look like an EV. Don't be trash, transphobic, racist, sexist. Don't be trash. Transphobic, racist, ableist, sexist, homophobic. You're just being okay. I think I'm just being the T. Okay, transphobic. And then gender dysphoria is a medical condition that creates an intense distress when a person's birth sex doesn't align with their gender identity. If untreated, gender dysphoria can cause people tremendous suffering, but is highly treatable, and that treatment is supported by all major medical associations. So you're still obsessing over me. I mean, I don't blame you. I'm pretty awesome. What about biology? Thinking about gender as biology hurts so many people. Not all men can bear children, menstruate, or produce breast milk. Not all men can meet height standards, match strength exercises, or produce sperm. They are still women, they're still men. Also, you're stuck in Minecraft, but all it wasn't enough, huh? Let's really go up to Minecraft. I know that I said, oh, let's do like a real battle, but like, at that time I was just angry and upset. I wasn't really thinking clearly. Then, what suits are you going to have? Are you on sides where you take homos? Do you still have vaginas penis? These are all incredibly invasive and irrelevant to most, if not all, interactions with someone that is it is it you don't ask strangers to provide their medical history to you. You shouldn't ask trans people if you don't ask strangers what their penis if what penises or clitoris look like, then you shouldn't ask a trans person. If you ask strangers this, you might want to reassess your priorities. How come? How how can you be a bad? How can you be bad at an open world sandbox game? You can be bad at any game, doofus. Yeah, it's so much potential. I won't lie. I wouldn't cut the I would cut the Unibrow though. I love the Unibrow though. Like it's been part of like here's the right again, assuming Like, doesn't know anything about me. So my eyebuds go fast, and I don't know not to really pluck them without them looking awkward. So yeah, so they grow fast. So you're saying that there is only one way to play Minecraft according to you? Thinking my head. Little what back, you tells me to a speed build. According to you, you can't be bad at it. Again, wasn't really thinking that clearly, so my bad. It's all subjective. I think this has gone on long enough. I have my beliefs, you have yours. This theory isn't an opinion, it's hate like an opinion. That black people are in fear, is hate. Transgender folks deserve human rights as inclusion. Let's be civil now. I'll continue to meet you in the battlefield as well. But honestly, you do you. If you block me, then that means that I win this argument. Oh, I wasn't planning on blocking you. Never did. I'm just saying I tried. I'm just saying I tired of this back and forth nonsense. Wasn't trying to be weird at first, but then you texted me on this bullshit. My apologies. You don't. You believe whatever you believe. I respect that. You're the one saying on how I should live my life, and I'll do my own thing. Bro, what? I never said anything about how you should live your life. I'm just saying you're a man. Evie, just say okay. And this pointless argument will be over. You continue reporting what I've never said in my mouth. Listen, you do your own thing. Saying that someone is a man or a woman, literally someone telling them how they should identify according to you and not to the person who deals with gender dysphoria. Eugene Brawl, I will see you later. Grow. Let it go. You know what? I tried to be nice, but no. You kept dragging it. You're an adult. Let's leave like adults. You both got each other's point across. You have your beliefs, I have mine. Get over what a teenager said. Get your life get and live your life, bro. I wish you well. I'm just stating the facts, and you're just getting easily triggered by a 21-year-old autistic trans woman. Maybe if you weren't transphobic, none of this would be happening right now. But here we are because you're all transphobic. Lives on facts, by the way. But what would you know about that? Then you would rather go with beliefs than the hardcore evidence of the biology of gender identity and dysphoria. I give your own research on the LGBTQI plus community, and you simply don't. So you're so who has the knowledge? Oh yeah, me, and the experience being a trans woman. Oh yeah, me and the people telling me that I have to be a man. Oh yeah, oh yeah, me. If being happy upsets you, then that's on you and not on me. If being LGBTQIA plus upsets you, then that's not on me. That's on you. Want it? What I mean by wanting, he wanted last night. He wanted to play ball, but then I was like, nah. Try, but then he left the game room, and yeah. Mental health is connected to overall health, but but not a doctor. Mental health is connected to mental health is connected to health overall, but you're not a doctor or anyone who works in the medical field or a gender scientist. You would rather assume some gender identity than respecting it and accepting it. Okay. Never ever try arguing with a nerd that does their research on subjects he is passionate about. You already lost the debate before you even started. Research all you did was ask your friend's question and look at AI overview. But science backs me up tenfold. Like loads to your little tiny assumptions on how gender works. I'll go by the science and the experience and not by beliefs. Man, you people are really delusional. Although I can't say I'm surprised. I think I'm right. I think I'm right. You think I'm right. Typical transphobic speech coming from you. Get a life, bum. Leave me alone. Said the same thing what he said. Don't be transphobic, racist, ableist, sexist, homophobic. I've lied, and that's not being what I just said. Okay, you're simply closed-minded and narrow-minded. Well, I am open-minded, have fun being confused about the LGBTQIA plus community. You can't say, oh, you're a man, and then expect my 2 years, 6 months on HRT just to go away like that. That's not how hormones work at all. Now have a life where you do your own thing and ignore somebody you don't agree with. You're a man. I don't care. See, calling someone a man but saying you don't care makes no sense. You're insane. That makes no sense that I say it. I'm just not gonna respond to you. See ya. So predictable behavior. So I just win about time. So you really know how to get people to respond. You didn't win. I just got tired of your bickering and your idiotic perspectives. There. It's because it's all just mind games. Now I'm gone. You can't be this dumb and think that you can simply change someone's gender identity just by assuming their gender identity. It's okay, it's like the thing, this is what my mom said to me like months ago. Thanks for letting me be your daughter, mom. I'm grateful for you being on my side with me. All of you are my greatest gift. It's me that I'm singing for you, my darling girl. You suddenly started being accepting of others and started willing to learn and support people who needed it the most. I'm able to do that with ease, unlike you. Again, I've won this debate with ease because the experience outweighs any transphobic and harmful behavior, but by tenfold to none. You would rather make others feel weak and small so that you can continue to harass them and bully them than to be willing to learn and grow as a person. But your transphobic and homophobic mindset stops you from doing that. What are you saying, really? Bro, at this point, you're harassing me. You really think you're clever putting words in my mouth I never tried to change your gender because it's already set. I'm not bullying you if you think otherwise, then you're acting like a child despite being an adult. You claim to have done research, but all you did was look at AI overview. You say I'm trying to change how you are. Also, I've said multiple times that I legit do not care anymore. You've been texting me all day, all night, yet I'm harassing you. Good life, you're doing great, whatever. And frankly, this was hardly a debate. I'm showing you how it is. You don't agree. So boom. You send multiple images and bring up irrelevant topics. So you could say I'm transphobic. That's it. Not really ableist or anything you said. You assume those things about me, yet apparently assuming gender is so much worse than yours. Okay, I was wrong calling you racist and ableist and sexist. But here's the thing, sexist and homophobic and transphobia go hand in hand. Just saying. You're a hypocrite and a boy who thinks they are clever and have a massive ego. We say I'm a boy but then uses the pronouns they and them. You know people use they and them pronouns can also be a woman, right? Apparently calling you a man is needed for all this assuming and putting words in my mouth. It's quite funny how much I was on your mind all day and all night. What 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 that say about your character? That's gonna add that snippet. You know what? That's a bit harsh. The entire time you claimed to be smarter at TikTok than me, yet you had to look stuff up and only look at AI overview and asking someone who is probably just gonna decide which one side you on. Do what you want. You're a man. And always will be one. You're never gonna truly be a woman, and you're never gonna have a kid or anything like that. One, I can always adopt or get someone to have a kid, then have the kid as my own. Like what? Or can I? Or they'll never have kids, but then having no quote unquote kids quote unquote as pets, dogs, cats. Simple as that, really. That's what I think. And it's crazy the way I think bothers you so much. You have been dismissing everything I've been saying by saying something irrelevant. I'm honestly done with this argument. I will see you end, bro. I will not be responding first because there is no point in arguing with you people. You're all the same at the end of the day. Last thing, last thing. Then I'm done with you. You're telling someone how they should identify based on one thing biology and not the advanced one either. Why is it your business to know what gender someone is? And they don't have to follow the social norms or gender identity. This also knows the gender identity because it's not because it has dumb rules really. By the way, AI assistant can't be turned off if you I don't know that. So yeah, have a good time dealing with people like me in your life. I mean, man have to know I'm man enough to know who I am, inside and out, aka I am a woman. You're telling me so dense, sick in my head. You're the one saying that I am a man when I'm clearly not. Why you need to know, need to know, need to tell the trans community all the time on how they confirm the ideas of gender identity. I wanted to stop, but all you were doing was, but you are a man nonsense. The same old saying only transphobes say, and not the allies of the LGBTQIA plus community. If being happy being a woman upsets you, then I'm doing my job well. What about trans men? Are you saying that they can't be men according to your ideas of how gender should work? Okay, I said you're a man, yet you keep saying and telling you how you should identify. You clearly are. Then show me a picture of myself, but whatever. I don't care anymore. And saying stuff like that what he just said, it's 100% without a doubt transphobic and homophobia and being homophobic. And kind of sexist, not gonna lie. They're saying that, oh, but I put out facts and facts and facts and facts. I know this video was long and all, but I wanted to make this video because it was important that, I talked about this and always talk about it when I have the chance to, because A, I don't like when people talk about stuff down upon the LGBTQI plus community when they did nothing wrong. When people who are generally nice, accepting people do nothing wrong and just go with their day to day, follow the law, and just generally just nice people. But there are some people in the LGBTQI plus community that are just not really good people who are transphobic, homophobic, racist, sexist, and ableist, and transphobic and homophobic as well, which sucks. But that's truth that I have to live by. But yeah, so what he said, was that okay for him to say to someone like me? No. That was straight up rude, toxic, sexist, transphobic, and homophobic in so many ways. And the reason why, like, yeah, I don't go. He always says stuff like "I don't care," I won't respond. Then he does respond back. So what I'm gonna be doing is this, so that I don't have to deal with him no more. I will be, you know, you know, muting him, block, and then turn on notifications, and then move to chat requests. Boom. Yeah, if you did enjoy this video of like ways that you, why ways that you shouldn't treat a trans person, then you leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what it's about today's video, and yeah, I really enjoyed making today's video. I really did, because I'm passionate about this subject, and yeah, and don't forget to join our Blue Sky, our Discord, and our Flux as well, and yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.